Hey, what's up, Guardians? TBL here, and today we've got a bit of a, well, it's not a rant, but sort of a discussion video with just some things I wanted to talk to you guys about. As you can see, I'm out here in patrol on the Cosmodrome, enjoying the beautiful sights and sounds of Earth and Destiny, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time to address, I guess you could call it the future of Destiny, what's going to be coming in the near future, content-wise, and what we can really optimistically, I guess, expect from Bungie within the next couple of months. Of course, tomorrow is the weekly update, a much anticipated weekly update. A lot of people have been waiting a long time for it. Of course, we haven't heard anything from Bungie since late December, and they're going to be coming back from their break, and they've got a lot of things to address. There's a lot of things that have been going on in Destiny right now that really have just been given the silent treatment and the cold shoulder, and hopefully we're going to be getting some answers. But of course, most Guardians, myself included, are fully expecting Bungie to at least kind of highlight their plans for Destiny Year 2 going forward. We do know the sequel to the main game of Destiny, Destiny 2, is probably going to be coming out sometime this year, but that's not slated until like September. So the second half of 2016, and we've got several months. We're already several months into the Taken King. The content is feeling a little bit dry, and we're all looking forward to seeing what's going to be coming next. So, of course, some people are expecting big things from Bungie tomorrow in the update, details on the next expansion, the next big content release. And I kind of want to temper those expectations. A lot of people have been asking me over the past couple of really weeks what I think the next big thing in Destiny is going to be. Are we going to get another expansion-style release, something like the Dark Below or the House of Wolves? Are we going to be getting new strikes, new exotics, and all that kind of stuff? And my answer, honestly, I'd hope so. When people ask me what I think is going to happen in the Bungie update tomorrow and, of course, in the weeks to come, my answer is I don't know. I have no idea, and I'm even afraid to make a prediction on it because I don't want to set myself and others up for disappointment. I do, of course, have a platform here as a voice in the Destiny community, and I'm super thankful to be that, and I just don't want to get people's hopes up when I say, hey, here's what I'm hoping for and whatnot. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. I'll talk about what I'd like to see from Bungie and for Destiny moving forward into Year 2. But really, first things first, I think there are some things that need to be addressed by Bungie, and the tip-top of that list is absolutely Crucible connections. It seems like pretty much since the update that brought us Sparrow Racing League came out, the connections in the Crucible have just been all over the place. 9 times out of 10, they're really, really bad, and we've seen a ton of weird glitches going on, from people randomly dying on certain maps to, red bars all over the place, people dying and then their bodies floating around, which admittedly is kind of hilarious. I think that one could say. That's kind of a funny little glitch. But then people dying with full health, and oh man, there's just a lot of stuff going on. And Bungie's original explanation for that back in December was, it's because of Sparrow Racing League, because the players for Crucible are kind of segmented off into SRL, and I think that's been verifiably proven false. There's no Sparrow Racing League event going on right now, and the connections have only gotten worse. Seriously, I know you Crucible heads out there have experienced it, and it's pretty darn bad right now, and it absolutely warrants a direct response from Bungie. So, that's one thing. A lot of the glitches and stuff that have been going on, I would love to see some reference to that, maybe a little bit of insight on why that's going on. A lot of the problems stemming from Bungie right now are based around the fact that they're not very transparent with what they're doing. I mean, we have no idea what the future of Destiny is in Year 2 until the release of Destiny 2. We have no idea what content's coming, and they're vague and super obtuse whenever they tell us about it. It's just, hey, we've got something coming. We've got another Festival of the Lost style event that's going to be happening probably sometime around February, to coincide with Valentine's Day, and then we've got the biggest content release of the Taken King. Bigger than all the previous events held within the expansion. And then you think about it, I mean, that sounds great, but the only events we've had are Sparrow Racing League and Festival of the Lost. It's not exactly difficult to get bigger than that. I just wish they'd be a little bit more transparent with what they're actually doing. And it kind of harkens back to that old leak we had about a year ago, showing off Destiny's future content release schedule. And it showed off, House of Wolves, Dark Below, and then what was then called the Comet, which turned out to be the Taken King. And that release, that leak, wound up being 100% true with everything it talked about. with the new world space being titled Hive Ship. We know that's the Dreadnought, the new raids, the new strikes, the new missions, and all of that. But then beyond the release of Comet / The Taken King, we of course had 2 more content releases, one being around the Vex, and then another one being like the Forge of the Gods or something of that nature. Yeah, you guys remember that? I'll leave a link to that image so you guys can check it out in the description box below or something. But of course, Bungie did come out and say, hey, the kind of release schedule we have for year 1 isn't sustainable in year 2, and I really do believe the reason for that is because they have most of the staff working on Destiny 2, and they just don't have the hands on deck, the developers on deck to really produce content like that. But where does that leave us with the rest of Destiny Year 2? That's a long time to go without any really big content, and I would really hope that some of that Vex and Cabal themed content, Forge of the Gods and all that, is going to make its way into Destiny Year 2 at some point in time, and that we get to experience it. And maybe we'll be hearing about that sometime in the near future from Bungie within the weekly updates. I mean, they've got a lot of competition coming. The Division is on its way, and it's going to be the first piece of real direct competition to Destiny. And I say direct because it's the same style of game. It's a looter shooter that's very similar in a lot of aspects to Destiny. And I can't wait for it. It's going to be good. But yeah, with no word from Bungie, no transparency about the future of the game, it constantly brings up the question, why should you keep playing? And ultimately, that's what I'd like to see in the weekly update. I'd like to see a little bit of transparency about their plans going forward. Just give us a roadmap of what you want to do. Even if you don't have anything major coming out, just give us a roadmap of the events and whatnot. Just heavily advertise that, hey, any or all of this is subject to change at any given time. And that'll be perfectly fine, just as long as we know that something is coming in the game. So anyway, that's what I'd like to hear from Bungie in the weekly update tomorrow. I would just like to have them address a lot of the issues going on in Crucible and the glitches and whatnot and the bad connections, maybe offer up a fix for that sometime soon, and then just get some sort of roadmap, some sort of indication of what we're going to be getting for Destiny in the future. Now that we've gotten what I really expect from them out of the way, let's do a little bit of wishful thinking here. So, the other question that you guys keep asking me here is, what would I like to see in the next content release for Year 2? What would I like to be doing in Destiny? And, there's a lot of things I'd like to be doing. I'd love a new raid. I'd love some new content, some new story missions. We do, of course, have a ton of exotics that have yet to be unveiled, including armor and weapons. You guys remember the Void and Solar Thunderlord models from the trailers right before The Taken King came out? Still haven't seen them. We've got a bunch of armors that we still haven't seen, like the Ophidian Aspect, the Frosties, the Dune Marchers. There's a lot of content that is yet to be put into the game by Bungie for whatever reason, so I'm assuming that's going to be coming sometime soon. But yeah, I'd love a new strike. I'd love a new raid. I'd love some Cabal-based content. I'd love more Vex-based content. And additionally with that, I would absolutely love, and I'm going to have another video talking specifically about this coming out soon. I would love to see revamped older content. I don't think Destiny has been out long enough to really just toss Year 1 content like the Vault of Glass and Crota's End to the side. Especially considering people who buy the Taken King version of Destiny, the big $60 edition, also buy House of Wolves and Dark Below. You're buying content that you're not incentivized to play, that you have no reason to play. And I think Bungie could benefit by revamping some of that older content, maybe putting it at 290 plus light. Shoot, you know what, we're deep enough into Taken King that I say put it at 300 plus light and have it drop some new gear or whatnot. I mean, could you imagine some 310 to 320 Vault of Glass armor? Even the Crota's End set looks really, really good for Warlocks in the very least. I don't like the Titan set so much for it. But I would love to have a reason to run that content again, for it to be relevant. So think about it, you get to your Reset Tuesday, and you've got your Vault of Glass, whatever, hard, challenge, extreme, whatever you want to call it, your Crota's End mode, you've got your House of Wolves, Prison of Elders revamped mode, you've got your Kingsfall and Kingsfall hard mode raids, you've got your Nightfalls, which need to have their rewards tweaked a little bit. Just take the Ghost out of the rotation. I think that's silly. And then you've got your weekly stuff like Trials of Osiris and then your Iron Banner. That would give you content to actually run. And, I don't know. I'd love to see some revamped old content, especially some of the older raids, because, again, I don't think the content is nearly old enough for Bungie to just be tossing it to the side and making it completely not worth running. I think that's silly. Revamping old content to make it relevant to new expansions is something MMOs have been doing pretty much since their dawn. And I think it's something Bungie could definitely benefit from. And hopefully maybe it's something they're even working on. I'd love some new content too, but I think revamping some of the older content wouldn't be a bad idea. And that's pretty much it, guys. Too Long Didn't Read version is I'm not expecting really anything too significant from the Bungie weekly update tomorrow, just them addressing some of the glitches and connection issues that have been plaguing the game since the December update, and maybe a little bit of a roadmap for the next monthly event, and that's pretty much it. But what I'd like to hear is a guideline for new content, maybe some new expansion style stuff like strikes and raids, or even a revamp of old content. And those are my thoughts. What are yours? Be sure to leave them in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say towards Bungie and basically towards the future of Destiny. But alright, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching this random patrol video and discussion. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians stay frosty.